Space is quiet, cold, and in Falling Frontier it's also going to be deeply personal. This is a real-time strategy game where you don't just fling fleets at each other, you plan, you probe, and sometimes you just wait. Watching a blip on your radar and wondering, is that a fuel ship or is this a full-on ambush waiting to happen? Hello everyone, my name is Tom and this is LT Gaming, your home for smart strategy, indie discovery, and the kind of deep dives where we take our time and talk about why the game matters, not just what they look like in a trailer. And today we're looking at Falling Frontier, a space RTS that's been quietly orbiting the genre for a while now. And rather than just rushing to the finish line, it's been refining, expanding, and plotting something special. We'll cover what that actually is, how its systems are going to work, how development is progressing, and yes, whether we've got a clearer idea on when it's finally going to drop. If that sounds like your strategic cup of tea, give this video a like, maybe subscribe, and if you're feeling especially bold, join us as a member. It helps us keep the lights on, the scripts thoughtful, and the upload schedule slightly less chaotic. Right, let's dive in. This is Falling Frontier. So, what is Falling Frontier exactly? Well, on the surface, it's a real-time strategy game, but not the kind you might be picturing. There's no base rush, no Zerg spam, and absolutely no building 20 tanks a minute because you don't have to know what a supply line is. Instead, Falling Frontier is slow, deliberate, and oddly elegant. It's set in a near-future solar system where factions born from different Earth colonies are now at war, not for galactic domination, but survival, territory, and ideology. You're not building an empire from scratch, you're conducting naval warfare. In space, every ship is going to matter, sensor pings will have consequences, and each choice, from whether to deploy a scout or whether to engage or retreat, could shift the balance. It's all built around a grounded design, so think fuel, ammo, radar cones, line of sight. Ships can hide behind moons, tuck in near gas giants, or just sit ominously in a blind spot. Battles can be won before a shot is even fired simply by outmaneuvering the enemy and strangling their logistics. In short, Falling Frontier is exactly what's going to happen when a strategy game takes a deep breath, sits down with a cup of tea and decides to make tactics matter again. Less clicky chaos, more deliberate positioning. It's a bit like Cold Waters, but with fewer submarines and more opportunities to hide behind rocks the size of Scotland. Now, it's not just the battles that will demand your attention in Falling Frontier, it's going to be the infrastructure behind them. The game takes place in a sprawling, procedurally generated star system, stitched together from planets, moons, asteroid fields, nebulae, and every celestial body isn't just going to be pretty, it's going to be an opportunity or a problem. You're going to be building and upgrading shipyards, refineries, recon stations, and supply depots, each one expanding your reach and resilience. So as you research new technologies, you'll unlock new ship hulls, weapons, colonization options, orbital facilities, the full logistical toolkit basically. And what they're striving for here isn't click to build and forget. If your shipyard's too exposed, it will become a priority target. Lose a recon station and you might not even see the next attack coming. Combat is also looking very impressive, with its attention to detail, physics and positioning in particular. Shots can ricochet off hulls, strike unintended targets, or damage individual ship systems. Engines, sensors, weapons, life support. And smaller ships, they're not just going to be cannon fodder. They can pull off ambushes, punch well above their weight, and turn the tide with some good positioning. So in the right hands, a nimble frigate will be far scarier than some lumbering brute with big guns and no plan. Now, this might be the best part. Logistics are actually going to matter. You can't just blob your entire navy into one death fleet and roll across the entire system. You're going to need to spread out, secure your supply depots, guard your refineries, and think like a true admiral, not some keyboard jockey. Weaker forces can absolutely thrive in this space, raiding enemy convoys, blocking colonies, hitting from the shadows, and vanishing before the inevitable counterattack. A bit of guerrilla warfare meets orbital chess, let's say. Scouting is going to be everything. You'll send out probes, recon ships, and build intel stations to monitor vast swaths of space. These stations can scan either in passive mode, subtle but vague, or active, which will give you better data but makes you very visible. So think a constant back and forth of risk and deception. You can even hide ships behind moons or mask heat signatures near gas giants. It's not just stealth, it's a little bit cheeky and I like that. The fleet itself will be no cookie cutter affair either. Over 20 ship types have been confirmed, from frigates to destroyers to heavy cruisers and battle cruisers, plus a full range of civilian craft. You'll be able to design your own ships, think Space Empires here, choosing weapons, utility modules and components based upon your tactical needs. And then finally, your ships will not be faceless blobs either. Each one will be commanded by a named officer, and I really like this, complete with traits, portraits and their own temperament. Some will be bold, others cautious, and they're going to act accordingly. Your flotilla's strength isn't just in its hulls, it's going to be in who's leading them. Lose a captain, they might escape in a pod. Capture an enemy one, you can interrogate them, learn their plans, or leave them drifting as bait. It's cold, brutal, and a little bit brilliant. Right, let's talk about the elephant in the nebula. If you've been following Falling Frontier for a while, you've probably noticed things have gone a little bit quiet. No new trailers, no splashy announcements, and certainly no release date. And I absolutely get this. Silence in this industry can start to look like stagnation. But here's the thing, the game is not dead, far from it. The solo dev, Todd Darcy, has just quietly carried on coding, refining and posting progress updates in the official Discord, like a developer who's just had enough of being asked, is it coming out yet, every single day. Now I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but this is just the facts. The footage you're seeing right now on screen, this was posted in June. Systems are being polished, the UI looks a little bit more overhauled, and mechanics are constantly developing, so I think there's a lot to be enthusiastic about here. As for the release, well, there's no firm date yet, I can't offer you that, but what is encouraging to me is development hasn't stopped, it's just gone, let's say, low orbit. Quiet, focused, and much more about quality than the hype. The publisher Hooded Horse has a very good track record of giving developers breathing room, and in this case I think it will pay off. The game is going to be all the better for the extra time and not being rushed out and half-baked. If you're curious, pop into the Discord yourself. This is where the real updates are, screenshots, testing reports and discussions, the works. It's a rare case of a dev just getting on with his job while the rest of us nervously refresh Steam. So to wrap things up, where does this all leave Falling Frontier? Well, honestly, I think it's in an exciting place. It's not the loudest game in the room, and I do think there's some criticism that can be centered around that, but there is depth here, tension, and a clear vision from the developer who isn't chasing trends, but trying to build something brilliant. Now, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Is this style of game going to be your sort of thing, or are you frustrated by the lack of communication? Let me know down below. I read every comment on my videos, even the ones that make fun about my pronunciation. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. It helps push it on the algorithmic void out there, and if you'd like to support more thoughtful deep dives like this, you can subscribe or even join the channel as a member. It genuinely helps us keep doing what we love. And that about wraps it up for this one, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye now.